happened.
Did he just subscribe?
No, he didn't just subscribe. I think he was already subscribed. He just letting us know that he has been. But thank you, Talk, for subscribing to your own show. So everybody got the opportunity to watch the Battle of Winterfell. And it has been like this mixed thing where it's been people that really enjoyed it, which I think are just casual fans, and then people that don't enjoy it, which are people that actually follow the story. So it's like we're at this point now where we're gonna go ahead and unleash all the emotions that we have on it. Go and you have your list. So start running through the list, and we're just gonna go at it, and the people in the chat, engage.
So you want me to run through the full list first, and then
we'll do them one at a time.
Okay, the first thing I was going to talk about, it's not in any particular order. Sam should have died instead of Ed. He's a Night Watch Lord Commander. First of all, they both should have died. But Ed died, and Sam survived. And also to piggyback off of that, why was Sam on the front lines, and how did real soldiers die during this battle, and he survived?
Yeah. I have no clue as to why he lived, because I thought he died 3 times. Can
I say something before we start? Clearly, they made the episode dark.
Deliberately
to tease us.
Let's talk about that for a second. There is a 40-minute long behind the scenes video on YouTube of how they filmed this episode. It wasn't because they didn't like the fucking thing. It looked amazing. Like the everything was cinematographically perfect, and then they showed all the filters and effects they put on it, and it got darker until I'm watching it on actual TV, not a stream, not HBO Go, not nothing. Right. And there's JPEG artifacting on my fucking television screen.
It was
what are you talking?
I'm watching it, right? And I'm like looking at them flying in the smoke and shit. And then after, damn, I try not to cuss, but and I'm watching them, and then I just slapped I was just like, I'm done with this. And everybody looked at me, they're like, what's your problem? I'm like, I can't see anything. I'm like, you got these fools flying around in a dragon in smoke for half the show. I wanted to see the dragons do some shit.
I was leaning forward.
It's freaking annoying.
I was leaning forward 60% suspense, 40% because I couldn't see. But I had a feeling that they made it so damn dark because they wanted to keep tricking us into thinking characters were dying. It's dark as hell. I see Bran get tackled. She's screaming. I'm like, it's happening. And then 30 minutes later, she's standing up fighting people. I'm like, I thought Bran died.
Right. Like, so Mike said, bruh, they put you in first person experience. The darkness was close as VR experience that you can get. I hear you. I hear you on that. I don't care about any of that.
I don't believe that.
Because the reason why I don't care about that, because the reason why I was watching it was not so much that I wanted to see them flying around in dragons and feeling like I'm on the dragon. I wanted them to move the story. Like the plot. Like, I'm like, we're at the point now. I've been waiting 8 years for this. And you're telling me I get to watch 20 minutes of them flying around in smoke and they can't see anything.
Spilling over the other topic. So, Sam, how did Sam survive?
Sam should have died.
Do you even want
Sam should have died.
Is anybody arguing that?
No, there's nothing more to it. Sam should have died.
A lot of people should have died.
Yes,
right. A lot of people.
And I said the coward.
The plot armor.
He was covered up in.
Do you have John as the topic, or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Mike.
Because John's plot armor is so thick now that it weighs him down in the freaking story.
Yeah.
But the plot armor is light enough that if he gets dragged under. In the ice lake, he could swim to the top. Next topic.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Next topic. Man, the snowstorm.
Oh, you mean the we don't want to animate anything storm?
Right.
The budget saving storm.
$15 million an episode, and they save costs by eliminating the dragons by showing Jon and
Well, okay.
Guess what? Jon and Daenerys, they're down there. They're down there.
Right.
Fly down or shoot flames down.
Just down.
Here's the thing. Ghost was in like 30 seconds, so they had to cut like at least an hour of dragons.
He's like half the budget.
He said, okay, so Mike Vandal says that this dude is accusing them of budget saving when the episodes are $15 million.
Here's the thing.
Is it not fact though? Clearly they did not.
So Ghost cost them too much money, which is the reason why Ghost got 86th quickly.
But he's not. No, but he's not.
But he's not dead.
They just didn't want to do him anymore. And it's like he runs in and he ain't running out.
No, it's like Nymeria. Nymeria's living in the woods or some shit. They told him to stop animating her. So no, here's the thing. If you watch that behind the scenes thing, you'll see how many practical effects that they had to make. That's where that $15 million went. Was all of the fake humans and all of the bodies that they had to stack up. Because that is not cheap.
Right.
And then the trench they made was not actually wood, but it was made out of metal, and it was a ton of propane gas that they put underneath and had to do all the pyro for. That's a ton of money.
Right.
So, yes, they did have to cut.
Because you got to think about
the
CG. Get us more dragons.
Like the CG cost a lot of money, obviously, when they don't want to put ghosts in the show more than 15 seconds.
Yeah.
But it's like, so if that ghost costs that much, you got to think a dragon battle is going to cost that much, which made me think that's the reason why there was so much, like really think about it for a second. If you're on a dragon and you're flying around, right, and you need to figure out where you have to light the trench, like you have to light the trench. So
okay, we're gonna move. Again, this is not in any order. In order to tug on the heartstrings and to make us feel like the battle was more realistic, I feel Grey Worm should have died during the retreat. When they were fleeing back into Winterfell, and Grey Worm had that look on his face like, damn, they're not lighting the trenches. We got to stay out here and hold the line. I feel like that would have been a great opportunity.
Okay, so Mike Vandal says, but bro, they gave y'all a shot of a zombie-covered dragon, and you're mad about the storm.
No, logically, I prefer logic over theatrics. That was awesome, seeing the zombies all over the dragon.
Yeah.
Right.
Take out that scene and make the dragons actually do something useful would have been far more exciting to me.
What was the problem when I'm screaming, fucking fly away at Daenerys?
Right.
When she's like just watching them stab her dragon for no reason, when there was no reason for her to be on the ground at all.
Right. So Mike, so Mike, let me explain this portion of it. It's not so much, at least for me, it's not so much that the fight scene in the smoke was dumb. It's that it was pointless.
Those were awesome scenes when they're lighting a fire and they're in the snowstorm.
Oh, right. No, it looked great. And then the scene of them above the clouds.
Yes, that
looked
awesome.
Great.
Right.
But it didn't make any sense. It was pointless.
And some of these things are nitpicking, but logically, like, why would y'all stay up in a place where you can't see when you should probably go down? Like, you're in the middle of a fight for Earth, essentially, like, for humanity, and they are, like, legitimately doing dumb things the whole battle.
So, again, Ernest, that's another thing. Rhaegal did not die. Jon fell off of him, and Rhaegal decided to
pieced out
for the rest of the episode.
For budget reasons. He went back to his trailer.
Right.
So, Grey Worm, I felt, should have died during the retreat.
Grey Worm wrote a check that I thought he shouldn't have been able to cash when he was like, I will take you to the beach.
Right. Like, you never predict your future. I was like, oh, he's dead. I was like, he's dead. He's thinking about a better life.
Tony Stark in Endgame dead.
Okay, so all right, so Mike Vandal says the storm was an unavoidable plot point, though. We'll get to that.
Plot point. The Night King was a plot point.
I forgot what season it was, but they made plenty of remarks about the Night King breeds a storm. But in the grand scheme of things, who the fuck was the Night King?
Who cares?
I know
who he is.
You mean Snoke?
Yeah, right. We'll get to the Night King because I'm gonna explode on that. But let's continue.
The Dothraki should hate Dany, the bringer of death.
I like how you just it's just so eloquently wrote that out.
You want to know what's one thing? I'll let you go. You want to know one thing about Westeros that they've done? They've wiped out all the brown people. So that's
literally just Grey Worm and Missandei.
Yeah, right. So once them two are gone, there's no such thing.
I remember a guy from season 1. His name was Khal Drogo. Said, I'm not going to get a damn throne. I don't want to get it. Until then, they try to poison Daenerys, and he was like, I'll rape their women and blah blah blah.
Right.
Khal Drogo, if you think about it, is the true savior of his people. He didn't want to go over there because all Daenerys did was take all of his people and lead them to the slaughter.
Right. They rushed them. They didn't even wait. So
that made sense. They are a rush. They are a rush blitzing type of army.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
They don't stand and fight. They're not defensive.
Sure. Yes and no. They fight with cavalry tactics, which that was not cavalry tactics. They're a flank and then bring in kind of like the Battle of the Bastards.
They didn't expect it to
move.
be that wide though. They
right.
shot a flank. They're like, oh wait,
how could you? Literally, all the people that have died, they brought back. So what do you expect? You're literally fighting everyone you've killed.
Tong,
do y'all think that was? Go ahead.
Tong, absolutely.
Oh,
that was not John's plan. I feel like John. To speak on this for a second, John has proven himself to be the worst military commander of all time because he consistently takes forces into battle and then gets.
He's lost every
single battle he's ever been in.
He's gotten bailed out, but he's lost every battle he's been in.
Yeah, he's not great. Yeah, John's worthless.
An idiot.
John is worthless. You're right.
He needs to die already. Die. Go away.
That plot armor, baby. Do you think that was Dany's plan? I felt like it was a response to Melisandre giving them fire swords.
That's not Melisandre's fault. They were going to rush anyway.
Right,
okay, here's the thing about Melisandre and the fire swords, and this is what I really wanted to talk about. Everything that they did in this episode was not to make any sort of logical sense. It was to create something that looked really, really cool.
And it did.
And it looked great.
That was
a great shot, right?
Let's go.
Yeah, and all got wiped out. I was like, oh. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, people are going to die.
But I got hyped,
Let's
though.
get it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we're deep. And we got these fire, I can't remember the name they call them, whatever. But I was like, oh, we're about to.
Yes, we're about to put in work.
Yeah,
but that's the thing is they did everything just to look really, really cool, and nothing makes any sense. Let's see, use the trebuchets. Exactly. They put the trebuchets and all the siege weaponry in front of the infantry, which is nonsense. And
thank you. My biggest beef is the illogical side of things. They used the trebuchets for one volley and didn't fire them shits again.
If you play Age of Empires, you know you protect the trebuchets. You protect your siege weapons. You just don't.
Yeah, it was nonsense. Why?
It didn't make sense.
Why are they not behind the infantry? Why? There's so much stuff. We can get into this. I was actually going to bring like a little model of Winterfell and be like, this is how you should do it. I ran out of time.
The next one, because we already did the dragon involved immediately. The next one, the Hound is still a bitch.
But it tracks. That tracks story wise.
Yes.
That tracks story wise. He's still scared of fire, and when they lit it up, he's still scared of it. But you notice when Arya was in trouble, dude sacked up.
Yeah,
immediately.
So that part was good. I felt like that was a good part of the story.
I was so mad. He was like, Glenn, we need you. I'm like, you bitch. Go plot, grow. It's 8 seasons, boy. Grow as a character.
But he
did
grow.
He did grow.
Okay, this is the growth, but now we're gonna see Clegane Bowl 2019.
But we weren't supposed to get that. Again,
they're gonna give it to us
now.
They're gonna give it to us
now. They're now just giving us.
Yeah, they're gonna give it to us.
I don't want
Clegane Bowl. I don't want Clegane Bowl. Just to give me Clegane Bowl.
I still agree. The Hound's a bitch. Okay, so next one.
Smitty said Tong looks different. Mike Vandal, I got a theory on the Hound character arc though. Fights the mountains surrounded by wildfire.
I mean, that might happen.
Who knows? Why not?
If the fans want it,
I'm all right with it.
The fans are writing the story.
I mean, basically, it's fan fiction at this point. So put all your great anime ideas into the thing.
Oh shit!
The anime has outpaced the manga.
The Hound could do a fucking fire command man wave and out and be like, "Holy shit!"
He's a firebender.
He's fully firebender. He has fully grown.
That's why he's so scared of it.
Yeah, he's fully.
He doesn't want to hurt Katara.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
So the next one,
fucking Todoroki now. Shit.
The next one, and I don't think about realize this.
Not Inferno, but whatever.
I realized this when
different,
I was watching
but better. Keep it like this. Sorry, Tom. You've been replaced. Tom. I live over here.
Tom missed one of the most lit episodes.
Right.
So I realized this. Tormund survived the massacre at Hardhome, the Battle of the Bastards, the destruction of Eastwatch, and the Battle of Winterfell. He's a god of war. What is your opinion on Tormund?
He talked about sucking on that giant teat,
and apparently he has the numbers to back it up because he survived the worst battles in all of Game of Thrones, and he's still here.
He is the Eugene Monroe of of Game of Thrones characters. That dude held down the left tackle spot. He's the MVP, underappreciated. Tormund Giantsbane.
Right.
Of course you had Tormund.
So Ernest says Cersei becomes the Night Queen. That we won't get that, but that would be great. Nice little great
again,
but we won't get that.
Again, Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. All right, so
they banish her to the
Welcome
north. She
back to
puts on
Nora.
his crown, and then she turns to a White Walker, and it's like
right. Oh, we never expected this. So Mike Bennett says Brauch had Tormund dying 100% in that episode. 100%. So did we.
But according to historical data, he just doesn't die. Next. Jon and Rhaegal could have lit the trench. He was clearly there when Melisandre lit it herself.
He stared at it. And both him and Dany both looked at the people slamming against the trench and didn't go, we should probably light them up because they're stationary.
I could make an argument for Dany because she was in the everlasting snowstorm.
Sure.
John was in Winterfell.
Standing there looking at it.
Winterfell was like, I can't go because I'm watching Bran.
Bruh.
It won't matter if you're watching Bran
if you kill the Night King,
or if they swamp the castle. Burn the fucking trench, John. Why? Help!
Because John is the worst. He's the worst character in this. He's the worst character.
I don't know how to drive the dragon.
And they show him at the end. They show him at the end of the episode running through, doing all this, running through, and all this. And I'm like, why are we focused on John? But we already realized that John is nobody.
Did we catch when he was about to commit suicide? Did we catch that?
This cat yelled at a dragon.
Suicide.
He yelled at a dragon more than he tried to help his brother.
Yeah.
So I want you to understand this cat's logic when he could have just taken a Valyrian steel sword and gone like this.
You know what I thought was going to happen? I thought he was going to burn him, but I thought he was going to survive because he's a Targaryen. I thought that was going to solidify that.
Oh, that would have been better. That would have been better.
But guess what? I'm not a writer.
Yeah, but what? And didn't he watch? Stark
Brain. I love you.
Yeah. But what about? Didn't John see Sam get swamped by
and then he just went
and then he left him? Yeah. But yet Sam still lived. He still lived.
He's crying on his couch.
You know what
that is?
He made
a couch out of dead body.
He got shot in his heart. And as he was bleeding out, he was able to stop the bleeding and get his heart to start working again, and they got up and walked away. Like, you're supposed to die there. Brienne was supposed to die. Jaime.
Wait, next statement. What did Davos do during the fight?
The same thing Davos does in every fight he's ever been in.
Absolutely.
It's a running gag. Yeah. He doesn't do shit besides bring onions. Yeah. And
how does he hold a sword? Which hand is it? It was his left hand, and I'm assuming he's right-handed.
I don't even remember him holding a sword.
He's never held one.
It has to be his. He held one.
I don't remember.
His left hand has to be missing the fingers.
Davos.
He ain't gripping
so hot take. Davos had the hots for Melisandre. That's what that was, and he couldn't smash. He couldn't smash her. That's why he wanted to kill her.
Well, he regret when because Melisandre was like, "I know you want to see what's under this dress," and he was like, "Nah."
Yeah, you do.
But then he saw she was pregnant.
Melisandre killed his surrogate daughter. He's still raw. She she made Stannis burn Shireen. Yeah. So he's still pissed.
Nah, I've seen dudes smash for once.
All right, well.
the next question. The next question, of course, they were on the front. They were on the front fucking lines. We saw them get swamped. Why are Bran and Jaime still alive, and why didn't they die instantly?
Yeah, right.
Instantly.
Jaime's fighting with his left hand, which is functionally useless.
Apparently, it doesn't matter. God, Jaime. Can y'all imagine if Jaime would have had his right hand?
Oh, he would have.
Yo, everybody's dead.
He would have been like,
looking like what's his name from Soul Calibur? Was it Raphael or what is his name?
Yeah.
Just killed everybody.
He would have looked like Deadpool, trying to deflect the bullets, just walking through people.
Right.
Smitty, you like Yingling, don't start. Smitty said, is that Yingling? Have a good night, y'all.
Shut up.
Get out of here. So Ernest, because Tormund did too, and he's still alive. Yeah.
We agree Tormund should have died. So they...
What was the point? What was the point of that conversation that they had at the end of the movie when they're all realizing their death? And then they're having the conversation in front of the fire and stuff like that.
Literally all of them are there.
So that means nothing. So my biggest takeaway I have for all characters that survive. The rest of the show would be impossible if only 3 main characters.
Let me answer that. The main character for season 1 was who? Ned Stark, and they cut his head off. The show would have been just fine. What happened when Ned Stark died? We all believed Robb was the main character. They jacked him up and all of them. We thought he was the main character. Like, oh, this is about the son. They killed him. Who cares?
So here's the thing.
here's
This is the clear indication that the writers have lost any balls that they had, and that this is just fan service city.
Thank you.
They all should have died, and then the Night King should have marched south to King's Landing and
Facts.
killed Cersei.
That's it.
And the Night King wins, and that's the end of the fucking story. Because the whole thing is a metaphor for how we bring our own ruin upon us, and I honestly think it's kind of a metaphor for climate change. We can have that discussion later, because I feel like that's just George R.R. Martin's thing.
Yes,
yeah,
the books are gonna be so much different than the stuff we're watching.
Yeah,
I feel like George R.R. Martin
nonsense.
purposely has sabotaged the show because
I think so too, because the anime is in front of the manga.
Yeah, right, and why would he want somebody else to tell the ending of his story?
All right, so I feel like we really need to get into the.
We're not done yet.
Yeah, no, we're not done yet. But I feel I'm at the point where I've held back enough, and I need to talk about it. The Night King, the Night King, the Night King.
Can I say the first thing about that?
King,
so about to bring up?
The Night King, the Night King. Go ahead, because I'm not going to stop talking.
Why didn't he raise the dead Dothraki?
Because he was up 3 games to 1, and he thought and he thought he won.
He's taking the series.
Yeah. He thought he won.
100,000 Dothraki rushed him. He killed them all.
See. You know what? I'm willing to give that up, because we spent 7 seasons. Well, seven seasons and 2 episodes.
It was mentioned White Walkers were mentioned the first day.
Yeah,
7 seasons. The first 7 seasons.
You didn't see the King until season 4,
right?
But they've been talking about White Walkers from episode 1, the very first scene.
Right. And 2 episodes into season 8, the primary issue was the Night King. And what did Bran say? Nothing else mattered.
But the war
but against the war against the Night King and the White Walkers and the Whites. And you ended that arc in 1 episode when he was supposed to be the bringer of death. Destroy everything. The impossible. The thing that's supposed to be impossible to beat. You ended it on him being careless. It's like, granted, if I remove story, the way they did it was legit. It was legit, right? But when you introduce the story, you can't build a character up like that to make Cersei the final boss.
So that's the question I want to ask you. Yeah. Why did the show reward Cersei's betrayal? She literally got exactly what she wanted. Right. She lied.
That's a Game of Thrones thing, right? But because she did nothing and still benefited.
But it's like they turned Cersei into the main boss now.
Right.
Yeah.
When they usually, the way shows work, or good shows, good video games, there is a boss behind the boss. And the guy you've been pursuing the whole time.
There's somebody else.
Final Fantasy IX, Kuja.
Right.
And then you find out, then there's Garland, and then you find out it was that Necron thing or whatever.
Right. Or the fact that Martyr was this big character in Naruto. It turned out that it's not Martyr, that he's actually not been controlling anything he's been doing. But in this sense, it was literally the Night King. We've all built up for the Night King to be the final boss. Literally, Cersei didn't matter because she's not more threatening than the king that's coming to destroy all of humanity. So you're telling me now that they were able to beat the dead, right? And I'm supposed to be able to now watch the next 2 episodes and watch her fight Cersei. Who the fuck is Cersei in the Golden Company?
How are you gonna
I don't care about them.
So
and I had a conversation.
Guys versus guys.
And I had a conversation with a friend of mine who said, it's 2 things. So he said, we don't know that they might bring up the Night King and talk about his background and stuff like that in the next few episodes. Why? It doesn't matter who the Night King is if the Night King's dead. So that's out of it. And he's like, well, the show is called Game of Thrones, not Game of Zombies. No, from day 1, it's been about the Night King, and the throne was the exactly. Bring him up for what? The whole thing was supposed to be about the Night King, and then the throne was part of it. That people were fighting back and forth, the inner turmoil that goes on before the final boss.
But we're supposed to understand that the throne is pointless, and the whole point of the show is that throne doesn't fucking mean shit when the Night King comes and destroys everybody.
It doesn't matter. Brandon's been saying it doesn't matter. So, what was the point of Bran? Like, really, where did he go?
Where did he go?
He was on Pornhub.
Right.
Clearly, everybody think he was watching the Avengers.
Yeah, he's like, what was the point of Bran? I don't give 2 shits what Bran has to say now because it's old. The show ended.
Your arc's done.
You had Bran's done.
Omar.
Yeah, it's
There's
yes, it is
far.
all over again.
Bran has no reason to travel down south.
There's nothing left.
So you know what the show's already broken to me. You know what they can do to fix it for me?
The Night King's not
No,
dead, or
one-
they make Cersei the
I
Night
thought,
Queen.
I thought about the Night King not being dead.
There's one logical choice now for the North, and this is the only logical choice.
Mm-hmm.
Daenerys needs to get on Drogon, go to the south, go to King's Landing, and burn the Red Keep. You know why? She's in worse shape now than she was when she initially started.
Right.
Not only that, but Cersei has fortified her forces. The one way that she can win is if she goes to King's Landing, and kills Cersei.
Right.
Destroy the Red Keep. Kill her. Guess what? You won. Yes, there's people upset because thousands have died, but you won.
Right.
Versus going down there with the skeleton force, not literally because they're dead, and then try to fight Cersei and the Golden Company and Euron man to man. Why? And use your dragons against them. Why?
Why would you do that? And Dog said no elephants though.
No.
Thousands of people just died.
They spent all that money on a snowstorm.
Thousands of people just died in the North. Do we really care?
That's probably what it was. They didn't want to pay. They didn't want to make.
Then they should never mention the elephants in the first place.
Right. So go ahead.
Thousands of people have died in the North. Mm-hmm. Do we really care if a couple thousand more die in King's Landing? We shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because those big ass crossbows. Those crossbows aren't gonna do shit once that dragon is just there burning shit down.
They already proved that the Scorpion was useless last season when they brought it out to the Tarly place.
Yeah, and didn't they hit one?
It took multiple attempts to hit one. She has two. Just go. Right. And they were trying to kill soldiers, and they had a goal. Your goal literally is to burn this building down. Burn it all up, and win. The goal now is just to win. You just survived the Army of the Dead, and you were anticipating death.
Right, so there's nothing else left.
I don't really understand why anybody wants to go to King's Landing because that place sucks.
Right.
And, bro, you live in Dragonstone. Your fucking war room has an awesome, live edge table of the entire country of Westeros, and it's against the water. That place was awesome. Why aren't they just staying there? Alternately, you let Cersei come to you.
Right.
And you go to the Vale of Arryn, which is impregnable, and you can just drop all those stupid motherfuckers through the moon door.
See, but that makes too much sense. It makes too much. That's what the issue is with this whole, the way they ended it. You can't, you know what this reminds me of? How I Met Your Mother. Because
that last season was
it's like the last season of Dexter, bro.
Yeah,
the last season of everything.
You've done so much to get us all in tune with this. And look, I get it. I like fan service, but you can't give me fan service when you just gave us this incredible story and made this character to be this unbeatable being. For them just to get beat so this dude. Look, and I guess they're a build. It's obvious. It's obvious that they build. It's obvious. It's obvious. I'm so flushed. It's obvious. It's just. I don't even know. I don't even know where to go. I don't even know. Oh my god. It's. I'm just pissed. I'm just pissed with the way that they did it, and in the grand scheme of things, Cersei means nothing. And like I said, they're building it up for Arya. She's been sneaking up on people. She's been sneaking up on people for the last 4 or 5 episodes, right? So she's been able to sneak her way through.
She's a rogue. I mean,
how do you have the Night King who's been cautious he could have fought Jon straight up and knew he would have won. You know what he chose to do? No, I'm not.
The ultimate bitch move.
Right. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna raise his people. You fuck with them then, and I'm gonna keep it moving. But yet. He had to walk slowly to Bran, which Theon knew he was going to die. And Theon went on like a bitch to me. Because everybody's like, oh, he redeemed himself. No. He ran to his death. You sit your ass right there and wait for the Night King to come to you, and you fight the Night King. You don't run to your fucking death.
And you stab him with your spear that's way longer than whatever he's got.
Right. like come on. And then you get to the point where it's like, this is it. We've been waiting for this all season long. Bran is now in front of the Night King. and they can have like the Night Kings never spoke, right? So I don't know if he can speak.
I thought they were
Yeah,
gonna finally do it.
Like this,
or when he's looking at him and the Night King's looking at him,
right?
And then he just goes, "Not you" or something,
right?
And then just tells him to fuck off, basically.
Right?
Like I'm okay with this.
Yeah, it's like there's things are supposed to, like we're expecting these things, so then all of a sudden he stands in front of Bran, and all of a sudden Arya comes out of nowhere, chokes him, drops a knife, stabs him. That's it. And I'm like, okay. I was like, when I watched, I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, that's crazy. Then I was like, then the episode ended, I was like, no.
Yeah, because I literally went, what? And then I thought about it for like a millisecond, and I was like, that was stupid.
What were the other White Walkers doing?